What's going on, it's boy JT, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Stories. This series, of course, where we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United and have a little talk about it. And the first story is a very, very interesting one. I've heard 3 or 4 different mixed reports around this guy today, Mr. Gustavo Gellard. That is right. Apparently, Leeds are still in the market for a number 10, and for me, this is the main man we should be going out for. This is the answer to Leeds United's problem. Some of you may disagree, some of you may agree, but that is just a pure fact. This guy is different gravy in the 10 and would step up to the Premier League beautifully. But the latest reports, will start off with the more positive report and then move on to the slightly more negative report. There are reports coming out of the Netherlands that Bailey has confirmed that Leeds have held talks with Gustavo Gellard, also adding that he had held talks with PSV Eindhoven over a move to the Eredivisie this summer, which we had heard. We had also heard that he preferred a Premier League move as opposed to a move anywhere else. Bailey adds that nothing is imminent right now, although he said it is clear that Hamer wants to leave Sheffield United this summer and most likely will do. Bailey said Gellard is assessing his options. He has held talks with Leeds and PSV Eindhoven, but I am told nothing is imminent, but it is clear that he wants to leave Sheffield United this summer and will. And his clear destination is the Premier League, so you'd expect from that, okay, Leeds are going to be the front runners to sign him. However, there are contradicting reports coming out of the Netherlands which state that Gustavo Gellard is uninterested in joining both Leeds United or Burnley football clubs. Now, is that Dutch media potentially twisting things to push him over to PSV Eindhoven? That is a distinct possibility. You always have to take everything you read with a pinch of salt. It hasn't come out of his mouth. I haven't seen Gellard actually talk to me and say, I'm completely uninterested with Leeds United, but as they say, there is no smoke without fire, or no fire without smoke. So there are definitely some validity to this point. Maybe he isn't keen on joining a relegation-threatened side after already doing that with Sheffield United and getting relegated the next year. Maybe he doesn't want to take that risk again. That could be a potential outlook, but we will have to wait and see how those things develop. But for me, Gellard is the man. Gellard is the man. Now, another story around Leeds United is surrounding Mr. Callum Wilson, who has agreed terms away from Newcastle, but it is not Leeds United that he is going to be heading to after agreeing personal terms with West Ham ahead of a move over to, well, I was going to say Upton Park, but the London Stadium. Still takes me a little bit of time to adjust to that one. But Callum Wilson was an option for Leeds. We could have signed him on a free, obviously being a free agent after leaving Newcastle, but he has now agreed terms with West Ham. So that's another option that Leeds could have left late, which is now done for. And after Patrick Bamford's demise recently, in terms of Farke telling him to get out, we do need to address this striker issue very, very quickly, because we don't have Joseph, we don't have Bamford. We currently only have 2 striking options that have played a lot of senior professional football in both Perot and, of course, Nemecha. Harry Gray, I believe, is that 4th option, but we need that top striker to fill in the ranks. And for me, if I was Daniel Farke, I'd be doing a little U-turn on Bamford right now and saying, hey, listen, mate, any chance you could stick around for a little bit longer? But there are some more stories around the Feyenoord maestro who we spoke about yesterday, Mr. Igor Bajau. I told you as soon as the news hit me yesterday that we'd made the bid, I made the video, we spoke about it, £30 million. There hasn't been any major updates on that right now today. It is still that £30 million bid which we spoke about yesterday. Feyenoord want as much as €40 million. There are reports now saying that it's £26 million with add-ons that take it up to £30 million. There were reports yesterday saying it was £30 million with add-ons that take it to around the £35 million region. So it's unclear the exact amount and the way that transfer fee has been split and given over to Feyenoord. But it is definitely an option that we have to keep our eyes peeled to, and one which I think is growing in likelihood that he signs for Leeds United. Now, one that is diminishing in terms of his opportunity to sign for Leeds United is this man, Mr. Manor Solomon, who could have had it all, mate. He had the hearts of the fans. He'd won the club over. He'd won the manager over. He'd won everyone over. And if we'd have signed him the second the transfer window started, he hadn't gone back to Spurs, I'm sure we'd all be licking our chops at how he could develop into the Premier League this year. But Unfortunately, he didn't do that. He went back to Tottenham, tried his luck under Thomas Frank, tried to see if he could worm his way back in there. But unfortunately for him, on a personal level, they didn't want any of it. Thomas Frank went and said, I'll raise you a kudos on that one. I'll then go and raise you a Morgan Gibbs-White, who they're still trying to deliberate things with Nottingham Forest over. And unfortunately, Solomon is left without a place to go, really. And it seems like Leeds is not going to be that destination because Spurs have slapped the timeline down and Leeds are currently pursuing Igor Pajau. Now, someone else who's had a little bit of misfortune is Joe Gellard, and the more it goes on, the more it seems like he might be languishing around Leeds United for the Premier League campaign that we start. Of course, we touched about what happened with Joseph and Bamford. Maybe that could be an option to give Gellard that number 4 spot and push Harry Gray down to number 5, which I wouldn't be willing to do because I don't think that number 4 striker is going to get a whole heap of game time anyway. Doesn't make a lot of sense for me to stay around, but there doesn't seem to be too many suitors for him. So maybe we could end up seeing Joe Gellard languishing in the side this summer. Now, another U-turn with the whole issues that have been going on with the Igor Pajau thing, unable to meet the fee and the valuation at all. Leeds are still sniffing around Mr. Timothy Weah. There are fresh reports coming out confirming Leeds United's interest in the USA international. Could he fit well for Leeds United? Could he do the business for us? As I said before, he's a very versatile player, but wouldn't be my first option. He'd be a good stopgap to fill in the position, but not an out-and-out number 9, not the best out-and-out winger compared to a Pajau or other people like that. Doesn't really make a whole load of sense for me. But again, the links continue and the days go on and it seems like there is slight more possibility of him joining. Now, one which is a little bit more interesting and has come a little bit more out of the blue is Mr. Kalvin Phillips, who could end up at Leeds United still as Man City consider paying him off for the last 3 years of his contract, saying, listen, mate, we'll pay your wages. We'll give you the upfront money because City most definitely have the ability to do that. We want to get you out of the club. We need to get players off the thing. And there's not too many people that are coming in for loan options for him. Not too many people that want to buy him. So there is even an opportunity of City potentially paying him out his contract. And maybe Leeds could pick him up as a free, as a backup option in case someone gets injured. Maybe replace Gruev with Kalvin Phillips, even though we have signed a plethora of defenders, or defensive midfielders, this summer. Kalvin Phillips could still be an option moving forward. Maybe he could go back into that number 10 role like he played for Leeds way back in the day before Bielsa came in as a little stopgap there as well. You never know. He's got Premier League quality. He's got Premier League experience. Maybe coming back to Leeds could really reinvigorate his career. Do we need him in the midfield right now? Not necessarily with the moves we made, but it's another one that could make a whole load of sense. But let me know what you guys think about all of these deals down in the comment section down below. For now, though, I will see you very, very soon. Out of all my brothers and my sisters.